This is the first time Steve and I have met.
That's right.
We've known each other for a long time, but never actually met. And I thought it was important to bring Stephen over to be reunited with the GTO, that he broke all sorts of records in the 70s when he sold it for a humongous amount of money, I think $125,000. And here it is today, $55 million. An amazing car, great history, but here's the man who knows the real truth of the actual body, the car, everything about it. He knows more about this car than most people. So I thought it was important to bring him over to England to see the car and talk through the history and what he knew exactly about the car, as opposed to many rumours and bits in magazines that are not correct.
Hi, my name is Stephen Griswold, and maybe some of you know me from the race shop I used to have in Berkeley, California many years ago, where we focused on restoring some of the world's great racing cars. And at that time, there were no spare parts. Everything had to be restored. There was no extra aftermarket pieces available. So we had to take a very careful look and use everything we possibly could to keep the car as original as possible, and with a focus to performing well on the circuit, but also trying to turn it back to its original form. The car I'm standing beside, 3387, was my GTO that I restored many, many years ago. And I came about it because I just sold my 212 Barchetta Touring Spider, and with the extra money and a little bit more, I was just able to scrape together enough funds, $13,000, to buy this car. When I got the car, I bought it sight unseen, but I knew that a GTO was a car that I wanted to have. It was sort of the epitome of Ferrari at that point. And when it arrived in Berkeley, I wasn't disappointed, even though it really was a clapped out old racing car, which had done many, many races and had obviously not been well looked after because of a deficiency of funds. When I surveyed what I'd purchased, it was no chance that I was going to run it or use it, and my intention at that point was to completely do the car over again and make a proper racing car out of it so I could go historic racing with it. So to start with, we disassembled it, and then I stripped the body in an acid tank, which revealed all, some sections of the metal were very thin. We also put the chassis on the chassis table, which I had. We always checked everything to make sure that there were no problems. And there was no evidence the car had ever been in any type of serious accident. The two pictures that you're looking at are pictures of the car after it was acid stripped, and one can see very clearly that there was a complete car there with a complete body, and but not in very good condition, in need of a bit of tidying up. I noticed that from some of the current comments that the car appears in the eyes of some of the new people in the business to have been rebodied, which is absolutely not true. And the fact that I had the nose clip for the car is also untrue. When I took the front nose clip off, I used sections of it, like the nose, which is original. We replaced one fender top, and was able to salvage the rest of it to maintain the maximum amount of originality possible. For the record, just so there's no more confusion, I didn't replace the body. I did replace the left wing, and I repaired the right wing and used the original nose and bonnet that came with the car when it arrived in Berkeley. I've looked at the car today just to refresh my memory because it was many years ago, but I can see that the type of rivets used in the front, it's all original as we did it years ago, and they're original rivets from Ferrari, not the type that we used in California. Car was painted red because it was red when I got the car, and I just assumed that was the color. It was long before all the historians had a chance to dig into colors, and I wanted a red one. My point of view with regards to this car and all the other cars that we did was they were built to be raced, and that's the way we wanted to redo them, to dyno test the engine. In the case of this one, I had test sheets from Ferrari for 3 different engines, a Series 2, which was more like an LM engine, and this one, and we ran two engines consecutively on our brake, this being one of them, and this particular car put out 310 horsepower with a very low correction factor, so it's not a fudge figure.